Okay, the first news round. We're going to do a news round start. We've got the Okay.
Whoa!
You've all been watching way too much Japanese. You see something fairly shit and go, whoa.
Sugoi.
There's a recent story. Japanese media enthusiastically reported on the arrest of a Japanese SoftBank worker because he was dealing in secret secret corporate information and selling it to Russia. He was selling it to Russia. And it sounds very much like all the tricks were straight out of the KGB. He was stealing data, meeting Russian businessmen in like underground car parks. And he finally got arrested and sacked from SoftBank. Which asks the questions to the comedians. If James Bond was remade in Japan, how would it be adapted? Or what could a potential title be?
You only live twice, would probably you only sleep twice a month, once on the train and once in bed with your wife.
Actually, I think if they remade You Only Live Twice in Japan, because Japan's a Buddhist country, they'd have to change it to You Only Leave a Few 100,000 times.
Well, if James Bond were Asian, he'd have to change his intro to James Bond James.
Well, how about this movie, Pachinko Royale?
The first Bond movie was Dr. No. Of course, in Japan, that would be Dr. Sumasen chotto muzukashii desu ne.
I think if there was a James Bond-like spy in Japan, a movie about a James Bond-like spy in Japan, he would be sent by a convenience store to infiltrate other convenience stores to find out their pizza man secrets. The movie would be called 00711.
The World Is Not Enough would probably be named The Nomi Hodai Is Not Enough. Or if James Bond were to move to Japan and want to rent a room, the real estate agent would probably tell him the key money is not enough. You have to have a deposit money, and then you have to pay 3 months in advance, and you have to speak perfect Japanese. So sorry, Mr. Bond.
The most famous Bond girl, Pussy Galore, she wouldn't change except she would be pixelated in Japan. So
Like all of her would be pixelated?
the whole thing.
Like she just show up, the whole thing is pixelated.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you guys know this, but Japanese guys maybe not the most charming and debonair. And James Bond would actually be traveling on the train a lot. So I think if they remade it in Japan, it'd have to be The Spy Who Loved to Grope Me.
actually, I thought if they made The Spy Who Loved Me, James would fall in love with a beautiful girl in a soapland, and it would turn out that she's actually a Korean agent. It would be called The Spy Who Rubbed Me.
I'd like to see a movie about a Japanese spy who infiltrates the world of underground, high-stakes gambling held in family restaurants. It will be called Casino Royal Host.
It seems like if you remade James Bond in Japan, you could just get rid of Q and all the gadgets would just come from Yodobashi.
Recently, Felix, the CIA agent, has been played by Jeffrey Wright, African-American actor. He will be played by a Japanese comedian in blackface.
Big round of applause for all the comedians! They did actually make a Japanese version of You'll Only Live Twice for Japan, but it was called You Only Live Once, but it will be to 124 years old, so not so bad.